when that time came where it was like you had to either pick or choose, like you go find another job or do your freelance thing. I think that was like the perfect moment, and I think it was also kind of like, you know, a kickstart for me to actually jump into it, because like I said, you know, for years and years I was always telling myself like one day I'm gonna do it myself, like I'm gonna work for myself, make my own schedule, blah blah blah. But I don't think I would have if I was just still at that job.
I've said this once and I'll say it again. One of my absolute favorite things about having the opportunity to talk to people in the way that I am is starting a conversation from scratch with someone who I've really never spoken to before. But
Yeah.
what it gives me the opportunity to do is to learn more about you, and more importantly, give people who are going to be watching this the opportunity to learn who you are as I also learn who you are. So without further ado, who is Scene?
Scene. I guess to just put it in just short, a creator. A creator. I most people probably know me as a cinematographer. So, been shooting videos for about 8 years. Yeah, almost 9 now. And then, yeah, more recently this year I started getting back into DJing. That's actually how I met you through social media. So, um, but yeah, yeah, I guess really just a creator in general. I guess music is really kind of the big part that kind of fuels me. So that's how I would explain who I am.
I love that. And I think one of the things that I want to acknowledge about why I love doing this
Mm-hmm.
is because I am having on creators, as you had just described as a characteristic of yourself. And that is so much more than just being a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you are putting into the world something that you are creating, in some cases from nothing into something,
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. Where did you wind up starting with your creator journey?
I think I was like very, very young, probably like 4 or 5. I just remember, you know, being in the living room and just like having a microphone in my hand and pretending I'm on stage, you know, listening to my favorite records, and I don't know, just imagining myself as an entertainer. And then eventually that grew. Um, and I think I was about early teens. I started rapping. I remember making my first song back in, dang, I think it was like 2002, 2003, something like that. And that's kind of like how it, I guess, kind of evolved. You know, I was rapping and then I was DJing. I was also trying to make beats and stuff like that. And yeah, for years, you know, I was making music, and then that eventually kind of faded off in a way. Just found a new passion, and I found a passion with just cameras. So I started just filming myself with, you know, snowboarding, little activities and stuff. And from there, I think just like the art of like music videos and like blending those two together really kind of helped me grow into the video production business. So one of my best friends, he's an R&B artist, sings poetry and stuff, like writes poetry and stuff like that. And he was the guy who let me shoot like my first music video. So I shot with a camcorder and a GoPro, and we shot by I think it was like the RTA station down by Tremont.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we just did a little like poem that he had written, and that kind of I mean, it didn't like go viral or anything, but it got some attention, and people were like, "Oh yeah, who shot this video?" Blah blah, and then people would, you know, tag me and stuff, and you know, eventually people were like, "Hey, could you shoot my video?" Blah blah, and that eventually grew, and I started just saving up some money, and I think it was like 2014 where I bought my first like real camera, I would say. It was a Nikon, and ever since then, I that was like it was like history from there. I just started, you know, doing more stuff in the music industry, started working with more rappers, artists, singers, and stuff like that. And yeah, here we are today.
Yes. Now, would you attribute to you ultimately continuing that across the years to you being good at it, you enjoying it, it filling your cup. Why is it something that you ultimately continued to do as the years went on?
I think it was just really just music in general. I've always just had a love for music. Entertainment and stuff like that has always just been big for me. I grew up listening to hip hop. I grew up, watching music videos before going to school and stuff like that. So it was always like fascinating to me just being able to create that. And then ultimately, seeing people's reaction and like, you know, them getting their product and being like amazed. So it was like
Mhm.
me being able to create that and create some or like build their vision, build an artist's vision, make their vision come to life was it fulfilled me. It
Mhm.
kind of just kept me going and it motivated me to keep doing more and more. And yeah, that's just kind of like how that I guess kind of grew.
Yes. Now, I want to go back through the titles that you have.
Mhm.
Cinematographer,
Yes.
you've got DJ.
Yes.
What else is on that list?
Yeah, I guess really those are kind of like the main two things. But I guess also too like a business owner. Now I've been doing this freelance, so
Nice.
I used to work a 9 to 5. Eventually got laid off from that just from COVID and stuff. So
Yeah.
people downsizing and whatnot. And I'd have to say my wife kind of helped me jumpstart into freelance. Being able to see her, she's been doing like her own thing for years ever since I met her. She was a personal trainer. Now she's a photographer, and she's been killing it. So it's like seeing what she's been doing kind of helped motivate me to, take this on full time. And it's been amazing for sure.
I'm so glad that you brought up business owner as
Hmm.
another one of your titles, because what I've come to realize is that when you are doing something that you love, that you are ultimately able to monetize, that's able to, pull you from doing something like a 9 to 5, it truly becomes a business.
Hmm.
And a business is such an umbrella term for so many things that fall under it.
Hmm.
And ultimately, you almost become more of someone that is managing this business than only someone who is performing the tasks associated with what you had originally started out doing.
Oh yeah.
I give you so much credit for that and for having the ability to navigate waters that are essentially unseen, undiscovered by yourself. It's encouraging to see, and I hope that people do pull encourage, and I know that they will pull encouragement from it, because it's although it's new to you and it will be new to them, there are always people who have maybe not in the exact same which way done it before that you can reach out to for help
Hmm.
and for support. So how did you go about ultimately making and doing that leap of faith where it now led you to where you are today? You had said that you have some support from your wife, but like, what made you be like, I can do this and I'm going to do this?
I think what really helped when I was, I had a regular job and stuff like that, and I was doing videos on the side. I think like kind of growing my client base,
Mm-hmm.
just being, reliable, being trustworthy, and being able to be the go-to for people. It helped me, I guess, grow my business and grow my brand in a way that like when I did make that jump to becoming full-time freelance, like it was kind of seamless.
Yeah.
I think if I jumped into freelance like maybe a year or two before everything happened, I don't think I would be as successful just because there's a lot of like behind the scenes work where like you have to make these connections, you have to build relationships, you have to become trustworthy with people because there it was just years and years of doing that. And as much as I was, sitting behind a desk in my cubicle at times and being like, dang, I don't want to be here, or, I want to just do videos full time, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I don't think I was ready yet at the time. And I think when that time came where it was like you had to either pick or choose, like you go find another job or do your freelance thing. I think that was like the perfect moment. And I think it was also kind of like, you know, a kickstart for me to actually jump into it. Cause like I said, you know, for years and years, I was always telling myself like one day I'm going to do it myself. Like I'm going to work for myself, make my own schedule, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't think I would have if I was just still at that job, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Because I was like so comfortable, you know, I was making great money. You know, they were flexible with my schedule, but you know, if I didn't get that, you know, kickstart, I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have done it. So,
Yeah.
but you know, everything happens for a reason. So it's a blessing. So I'm happy with how everything has been going. So for sure.
Yes, yes. So you had mentioned about some of the people that you work with and some of the projects that you've done. What do you see most people coming to you for now in relation to the cinematography aspect of what you do?
I I pretty much grew my brand doing a lot of music videos.
Yeah.
As much as I love doing those, I haven't been doing those as much. So like lately, I've been working a lot more with businesses,
Yeah.
doing a lot more like car visuals. I've been working with Corsa Performance a lot. I've been doing more stuff with like little car shops and yeah, stuff like that. Which is actually cool because I'm a car guy. I would have to say like, back then, you know, I'd modified cars, going to car shows and stuff. So like I feel like I'm still kind of like in my, you know, realm where like I feel like I'm very comfortable. I love
Yeah.
doing what I do. So, um, but also, you know, I also shoot podcasts too, little interviews, corporate stuff. So, also been doing a lot of weddings. So it's kind of like yeah, I touch everything. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know what I
A little
mean.
smorgasbord of
Yeah,
services.
yeah. So anything and everything, I'll be down to you know shoot, film, edit. You know, but.
And I think that speaks volumes to your skills and your abilities because I would imagine that someone could become like extremely specialized and, but at the same time, that's not going to be perfect for every single person and every
Mhm.
single thing. So you've had the opportunity to diversify your skills
Oh yeah.
and make yourself so useful and dynamic to adapt to what it is that you have in terms of the project in front of you at that point in
Hmm.
time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like, I guess the main thing too that has helped me, I guess, build this as a business. You know, I didn't really just focus on one thing and being able to just kind of, yeah, be very versatile, be able to work on different projects. It just kind of helped me, you know, become where I am right now. So I'm definitely, you know, definitely a blessing to be able to, you know, take on every opportunity that comes my way.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, yeah, I'd have to say just, you know, being able to do all that is just amazing. And, you know, I'm just thankful for people who come to me and, you know, trust me with my vision. So,
And that's exactly what they're doing. I'm so
yeah.
glad that you said that they're trusting you with the vision that
Hmm.
you have in regards to what it is that they've told you that they're looking for.
Right, right.
And it's so hard sometimes to be able to put into words a vision,
Hmm.
and you are able to pull from what they give you to ultimately give them something that they are looking for.
Yep.
Like I said, you're creating something in some cases from nothing.
Hmm.
And the the memories that you are going to be able to provide people are
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be those that they'll look back at and look back to for forever. I mean, have you thought
Yeah.
about that? Like, have you put that into perspective for yourself to realize that, especially with weddings, it's one of the
Yeah.
most personal things ever. You are providing them with a memory that they'll be able to look back at for the
Yeah.
rest of their lives.
No, for sure. Yeah, definitely weddings are like the big thing too. It's like, um, sometimes it's like very, I guess like, how would I say, like not stressful, but it's like kind of like big pressure, I guess, as far as
Mhm.
like for shooting weddings, because it's like such a big day, and it's like you don't want to miss anything. You want to make sure you capture everything,
Yeah.
but you know, I do my best to, you know, capture everything and you know put together an amazing film and like seeing their reaction, you know, or hearing reading the reaction and seeing like, oh my god, this is amazing, and maybe tear up. It like makes me feel good. And yeah, it's definitely a blessing to be able to do that because like you said, it's a very big day. It's, you know, they want to be able to look back on it, you know,
Mhm.
years down the road and you know kind of relive it. So
Yeah. And if you really think about it even further, what you're doing is providing emotions to people through an experience through the lens.
Yeah.
And you're not only doing that with all of your skills, you're providing an experience through the art of music. That's how we originally got connected. Talk about your time DJing.
Yeah, so DJing, man, like I guess I really kind of started back up this year. I guess a couple years ago, I was doing it here and there, but really I think it was this year kind of like I pretty much went full on with it. I think what kind of really kickstarted me, like the top of this year, I was low key feeling burnt out from shooting videos. Probably just because I was like taking on anything and everything. Usually like the winter times are kind of like my slow months. So I think there was a point where I was just kind of like overbooking myself, trying to stay busy because, as a business owner and like a freelance, you don't know when you're going to be able to pay the bills or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't know when
Yes.
this money's going to come in next and whatnot. But yeah, so as far as like being burnt out with videos, like I needed to find something to kind of keep my mind fresh. Because there was a time where it was like probably like 3 weeks or so where I did not do anything. I didn't want to sit in front of a computer at all. I didn't want to
Yes.
edit. I didn't want to shoot anything. And I picked up DJing again. So my wife bought me a DJ controller a couple years back as like I think it was for my birthday, and I would play with it every now and then. And then this year I decided to do just do little DJ sets in random places. So like I would go around, like go by the bridge downtown, go by this little park by our house, or even in the backyard, just kind of like different scenery and stuff. And I'd start just creating some mixes, playing house and techno music. And I guess it kind of gained some traction on social media. People would start watching and stuff and gain some more followers, and it started getting a little bit of a following. And I love that type of music. So like that's kind of like how I normally listen to that type of music, is like just putting it all together.
Yeah.
And my wife and we go to a lot of music festivals. We love the music, we love the vibe and everything. So whenever we're at like a festival or at a show, like I'm always thinking like, oh, that's gonna be me one day up there. I hope might happen, it might not, whatever. But the energy I get whenever I play the music or mix and stuff like that, it brings me alive. It just brings me so much joy and passion. And yeah, it really has helped me, I guess, bring my creativity back, and it just lets me have fun again. So I think that's kind of like how this journey has come. And now like I'm getting booked for like events now and stuff.
Yes.
Getting booked for shows. You were at my one show at Forest City, so that was really cool. And yeah, it's been amazing so far. So it's kind of like just the beginning, I would have to say. So I'm very excited to see where 2024 has in store for me. So we'll see.
I'm excited too. I'm
Yeah.
excited too. And I think I want to bring to light the fact that the first video that I saw was the one that you were doing on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Nice. Yeah,
yes. And I saw that. I was like, because I've recently somewhat gotten more into like the house music.
Yeah.
And it's just a good beat.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And if someone's doing it well, like yourself, you're able to create a tempo and a pace that in some cases, as upbeat and uplifting as it is, it can also be pretty like relaxing
Yeah.
to just listen to and vibe to.
Definitely.
So I think that is something that's great. And another reason why social media is able to be used to propel you into having relationships that you otherwise wouldn't had it not existed
Oh, for
back
sure.
in the past. I mean, back in the, not even all that long ago, because social media wasn't a big thing. And think about this. Instagram didn't even have videos.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay.
I remember it was just pictures
Yes,
back then.
just
Yep.
pictures. And then all of a sudden, I think they first started releasing like 15-second
Yeah, it
videos
was
or
like very
something.
short clips or whatever.
I want to say almost right around the time that like Vine,
Oh,
I
Vine. I
think,
remember
was
Vine.
out.
Yep.
So I think I saw a bunch of memes that were like, oh, Vine is dead because Instagram is introducing
Yep.
15-second videos.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, lo and behold, I think Vine went down for its own reason, even
Mhm.
though I absolutely loved it. So thank
Oh, I
God for
loved it too.
TikTok coming up now.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that it's so powerful when you're able to utilize social media to get your message across and share your skills with others. And
Mm-hmm.
through that, I know that people are seeing and liking what it is that you're doing. Is strictly just by the fact that, Shauna keeps on booking you
Oh,
on these
yeah.
events that she's hosting as
Yeah.
well. And I love that connection. She is an absolute rock star and
Oh,
a
for sure.
connector amongst
Yes.
everyone here in Cleveland. How did you get linked up with her?
Yeah, it was random. I think it was I don't know if you know Sumi. He does
Oh, yes.
Thoughtcast
Yes.
official. So yeah, I've been working with him, every now and then. I just help him shoot his podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had hit me up. I guess it was for that. I don't know if you were there. It was for there was a rooftop party at 55 Public
Yes.
Square. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes. Yep.
Shauna, she was one of the I guess like sponsors for it.
Yep.
So that's how we had connected, and then
Nice.
from there, I think she has sent me a message probably a little bit before that Forest City thing and asked if I was available, and I was like, yeah, let's do
Yes.
it. Um, so yeah, that's how we got connected, and yeah, she's awesome for sure.
Yeah.
So great person, great
Yeah.
person to work with, and yeah, I love what she's doing too with her brand. So
Yep.
it's like really cool how like social media is able to connect us,
Mhm.
with everybody, whether it be, other creators or just people who are fans of what you do and stuff like that. Like, because I remember the days where there was no social media. You'd have to, I remember when I was making music back then, you'd have to pass out CDs and stuff like that
Yes.
and try and, get on blogs and stuff like, blogs or write-ups and stuff. But nowadays it's so easy. It's
Yeah.
like you can just literally promote yourself and just gain a
Yes.
following like that. So yeah, social media is amazing.
It is. And to a point that you had made earlier, there are so many wonderful people around the Cleveland area,
Mhm.
and there's so many events that are going on, including those that like Shauna puts on. And everyone is so welcoming
Mhm.
and so supportive. And you're going to increase your network. I'm going to increase my network by, I would say, starting to go to some of these things.
Mhm.
Contrast High is always having events.
Oh, I
Like I
see.
said,
Yeah, saw
Only
that.
Daughter Society, run by
Mhm.
Shauna, is always hosting events. And Stella is one of the people running a few of the events that are going on in like Barley House and such.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's just like they're posting about them. They're there. They're available. So with that, all we need to do is start showing up to these and making the connections.
Yeah.
If that's what we want, if those are the people that we want to connect with.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
lo and behold, and to really no one's surprise, once you start going to these things and starting to get to know some of these people, you develop a relationship
Mhm.
that ultimately leads to something, whether that be being booked at a venue, whether that be
Mhm.
a guest on my podcast. And
Yeah.
I think it's so powerful to also have the confidence and self-esteem to put yourself out there
Yeah.
that gives you the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said, how you were kind of going off of about showing up to places. I think that's really major. Like I think that's what has helped me as well with getting booked for DJ gigs and stuff. Because for months, I was just doing stuff in random places, but once I started showing up to little they call them open decks, so like a bunch of
Mm,
DJs would show up and they have like anybody could come, new people, veterans and stuff. You can come and play like 30-minute sets, play whatever you want, and you get the experience of being able to play on a professional system, on a loud sound system, and be able to
yes.
network with other DJs. And I think after showing up to a couple of those, that's really what kind of helped me gain some more shows and also build the network of people that I know now. Because what was it, like 5 months ago or so, I didn't know anybody who like really DJ'd
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, other than like Bobby Boucher, Matitude, and all the DJs who like play downtown, but they're already doing their own thing, so it's like I needed to kind of grow my network more with people who are,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, like people who, yeah, just to grow more. You know what I mean? Because like I only knew a few people, so they're already doing their own thing, but like being able to just grow the network definitely has helped me kind of grow my name as well. So which is
Yeah.
cool.
And I have so much respect for the amount of people that you've had the opportunity to rally behind you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I apologize. I went to the Browns game, so I wasn't able to make it to your boiler room
Oh
set.
yeah, that's
But
okay.
dude, talk about that because that seems so fun from the pictures and videos that I saw that you posted
Oh
about it.
man, that was a blast, man. I definitely am gonna have to do it again this coming year for sure.
Yes.
So that was kind of like just kind of like I think we had planned that like 2-3 weeks before it actually happened. So it was my birthday like 5 days before that, and I was just thinking like what should I do for my birthday? I didn't really have anything planned really. I didn't want to do anything. I'm more so just like to chill and stuff. But I've been working with Breakthrough Sounds. They're in Valley View, and I do some video work with them. And in turn, they let me use the space for however many hours a month and stuff. And I've filmed in there quite a few times, and then more recently they've built like a stage in there, so they sometimes host like open mics, some smaller events as well. And I just thought like, hey, am I able to throw a little show here or something? And he's like, yeah, why not? So might as well just do it. And then my one buddy, Aaron, he runs a like a wedding entertainment business. I mean, they don't necessarily just do weddings, but they do DJing stuff, entertainment, and they have speakers, they have extra lights and stuff. So figured I'd hit him up and see if he wanted to be a part of it. And he was able to lend me some of his equipment and stuff. And yeah, we put together a cool show. Just started inviting some people, and I booked a few other DJs. I ended up also bringing all my camera gear. I wanted to just film it, just kind of like how you'd see a music festival be filmed and stuff. And yeah, I just kind of like sort of just headlined my own show too. So that was like really cool. It was such a great experience. I had so much fun, and I definitely want to do it again this year. Definitely do it bigger and better. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it was definitely like such a great time just being able to bring all my close friends there, people that I've just met and stuff, and really have them see me in DJ mode. Because most of, like I said, most of the people kind of just know me from shooting videos, so it's like being able to see me in another element it was awesome. So
Which is so funny to me because I only know you in your DJ element.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I know that's crazy. So it's like a lot of these new people probably don't know that I shoot videos, but yeah, no, it's cool, like, kind of doing both, you know what I mean? Being able to blend the two. So that was like the main thing as well with like, doing these DJ sets in random places. It kind of helped me just be able to shoot just stuff for fun. So to kind of go back as well, like when I was, like I said, I was feeling like burnt out because like I was just doing a lot of, I guess, stuff for clients, which you have to do what you got to do, but it like took away time from me doing stuff that I really wanted to do, like just fun stuff, whether it be just go outside, just shoot like birds or something like that, film cars and like random stuff. I missed that. So like being able to just play music and then film myself like acting like I'm on stage or something, like that was fun. So it's like, yeah, blending the two together, cinematography and DJing is it's awesome. So
What's the editing process like for you with all that stuff?
so I guess music videos would probably be like the most time consuming, I would have to say. Just because like with all the cuts and like transitions and stuff.
Wait, so I want to stop you there because
Yeah,
I've been dying to ask this question to someone that would know the answer to it. So with music videos specifically, let's say there's like three different scenes.
Okay.
Okay, three totally different scenes in different locations that in some cases they keep on cutting into and out of from one to the other,
Oh, okay.
but like continuing the song.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So does that just mean that there are like three full length like clips
Oh,
of them
yeah.
singing the songs
Yeah, yeah.
that then are just like spliced together and going back and forth at different times?
Yeah, so most of the time, like what I'll do if we're, yeah, like I said, like if we're gonna be shooting at like three different locations, what
Yeah.
we'll do is, we'll shoot the full song at one location, we'll
Yes.
shoot the full song again at another location,
Okay.
and then yeah, so pretty much
Yes.
it's a full song in each location. Then from there, we'll just kind
Yeah.
of cut, different parts, and whatever makes it in the edit, we'll make it in the edit. Sometimes though, I mean, there's been times where we'll just do like the first verse in one location, and then we'll move on to the second location. We'll
Okay.
only do the hook, and then third location we'll do the second verse or something like that. I guess it kind of just depends on how, if there's like a storyline to the song or
Okay.
or whatever. But yeah, in general, yeah, we kind of run through the entire song multiple times, and it's usually multiple times in each location just to get different angles.
Yes.
So by the time the shoot's over with, I've heard the song like 90 times. And
At least.
yeah,
At
yeah.
least.
And then goes back to editing. I'll be listening to it again for like another 100 times. So yeah, it's definitely time consuming.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I feel like I have to edit with my headphones in, because if I edit with speakers and my wife is around, she's just gonna be listening to the same thing over and over again. And it's
Yes.
like sometimes I'll just be editing like 10 seconds, but that 10 seconds may take like 3 hours to just kind of like put together. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot to it.
It's funny that you mention all of that, because one of the things that I thought about doing, and I don't know if it'll be something that I move forward with, but I was like, damn, if I'm going to spend all these hours in front of my computer, it would be nice to like find a way to like live stream it. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
someone wanted to follow along in the editing process with me as I was editing podcasts, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm honed in, on the edits, and I wouldn't be, not that I'd have a big chat, but I'm not engaging with the chat. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think it'd be all that entertaining to actually move forward with.
Uh-huh.
But I totally understand what you mean about like spending the time behind the screen
Yeah.
to ultimately come up with a product from the raw material that you have.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's definitely like a whole nother project in itself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like shooting is one thing, but then when you go to the editing, it's like a whole new, you're starting from scratch again, because now you have all these clips and then you got to figure out what to do with it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely fun, but it's a process.
Yes. All right. So that's the music video side.
Yeah.
Speak more to the aspects of editing the DJ sets that you do.
Okay, so as far as like the DJ sets, those are actually pretty simple, I would have to say. So I usually do a 2 camera setup. So like one, I will use my Sony, and I'll have that, I don't know, really kind of like maybe farther away, and then I have a GoPro that I usually just mount on the front of my decks, to give that wide angle look, and then I really just hit record on both, and then just play through the whole song, and then I'm also capturing the audio on the decks itself. I can hit
Yes.
record, and then once I'm done with that, yeah, I just import it all. So I'll have like the audio track, and then I'll have the GoPro footage, and then Sony footage. Just line them all up, and then from there I just kind of like cut at certain points. So I pretty much do listen to the entire mix all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's less stressful, or less time consuming, I would have to say, just because I don't have to put like special effects and stuff like that. So
Which I'd imagine you're doing a lot within the car videos that you're
oh
editing.
yeah, that is, yeah, the way I edit car videos, it's sort of like, yeah, it's pretty much sort of like music videos in a way. I guess not as intense, but very similar. I'll shoot B-roll, and then we'll do like rolling shots. Car rolling down the street. Maybe get some sound effects. Car revving, and then get some interior shots. So it's like Yeah, there's it's very similar to like music videos, I would have to say.
Yeah. It's amazing the experience that you have
Mhm.
in the time that you've been doing it, and the fact that you are so skilled at what you do and people recognize that. And there's no doubt to me that
Mhm.
you are going to achieve every bit of what it is that you set yourself out to achieve.
Mhm.
But with that being said, where do you want to be? Where do you want to play? Where do you want to see yourself here in the future?
So I guess because it's like a two-part thing with
Yeah.
videos and then DJing. As far as like videos, I would love to be part of like a film production crew, whether we
Mm.
be shooting, like car commercials for BMW or like something like that, or shooting like a movie. I would love to do that. I love being behind the camera and operating the camera. I think that's where my strong point is. I as a one man band normally for like video production, I have to wear many hats, whether it be like directing, and then I'm also the editor, I'm also the camera operator, I'm also even the lighting guy at times, so I gotta like set everything
Yeah.
up. But if I'm able to, I would love to just be a part of a film production crew where I'm just behind the camera, I'm getting the angles, I'm getting the shots. So that's like the dream. Yeah, so maybe one day it'll happen. Who knows? But and then as far as like the DJ thing, I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to play like music festivals, like EDC, like Arc Music Festival, Movement, be on the big stages like that. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But this year has been amazing and very eye opening with all the
Yeah.
opportunities I've been getting. So next year that may happen. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Are there any experiences that you've had through either your video production or through the DJing where you're just like, oh, wow, that feeling was amazing, and it's something that you continue to chase?
Like the video side of things. I think it was September. That was really cool. I got to shoot with Kid Cudi and like hang out with him for pretty much the entire day. That was wild. So it was Kid Cudi day at the Guardians game, and Republic Records. One of the guys from Republic Records, he had contacted me, and a week before, he's like, "Hey, are you free on Friday to do a shoot with an artist?" And I actually already had plans to do something, so I was like, I might be, depending on what time it is, and like who's the artist, let me know some details. And he replied back and he's like, so it'll be for Kid Cudi, and you'll be shooting with him all day, and it'll be for the Guardians game, blah blah blah. And I had to like reread it. I'm like, no way. Yeah. So it was legit. And like the next day we got on a call with him and then like three other people from Republic Records, kind of going over the plan. They gave me like the whole rundown on what needs to get done and get shot. And yeah, Friday came around, got to the stadium, and yeah, it was cool. We were in a suite. His family was there, mom, brother, like his whole family was there, and we were. Yeah, he was like passing out the bobbleheads, signing autographs with fans and stuff, and just being able to capture that was like,
Yeah.
it was sweet. Like
Yeah.
just being able to be there. And I actually, it's funny because like I don't really listen to Kid Cudi too much.
Hmm.
I definitely respect him and
Yeah.
whatnot, but yeah, I never really got hip to his music. But like just seeing how like down to earth he is, that like made me respect him so much. Just because like
Yeah.
he's just a genuine dude, like good guy. He definitely loves his fans. People were coming up to him and he had no problem like signing autographs, taking pictures and stuff. And yeah, real down to earth dude. And it's awesome to just be able to see that, firsthand, and yeah, kind of experience that.
Yeah.
And then as far as like the DJing side, like stuff that has just kind of like made me feel great. I guess really just all these shows that I've been doing, like playing at B-side, playing little after parties, where else? Like playing Forest City, getting booked for that, and it's just amazing. Not like now I have a show coming up at Crowbar. I've always wanted to play at Crowbar. Now I get to do that. I've also have another show at Foundation Room at House of Blues on the 23rd. I've wanted to play there. Now I get to play there. yeah, so it's just like seeing all these opportunities come up. It's makes, it's a blessing. It makes me
Yeah.
feel so thankful, for sure. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And you can hear the passion
yeah.
within your voice in regards to everything that you are doing with purpose.
Mhm.
And it's something that is every bit of the reason why I will go and double down on what I said. You will accomplish what it is that you set yourself up to. And I think part of that comes from your willingness and openness to take advantage of opportunities that you have in front of you, but
Mhm.
also you're not afraid to ask a few more questions.
Mhm.
Like you said, you did feel a little bit of burnout by taking a lot of jobs that maybe you didn't need to.
Yeah.
But now, simple thing with your Kid Cudi example.
Mhm.
Like, it at one point in time, you may have just been like, oh my gosh, someone needed something or wanted something. Absolutely, yes, no matter what. And it's like, well, you were like, what are the terms?
Right. Right.
Who is this with? What comes along with it?
Mhm.
And I think that speaks to also maturity and confidence that you have within yourself and your services,
Mhm.
because you recognize how important and valuable your time is.
Oh, for sure.
And I always get excited when people start to, because you always have it, but it's just not always recognized.
Mhm.
So when I see that someone is coming into themselves, it's so great to see, because truly it's just going to be something that continues to propel you and propel them forward.
Mhm.
I think one day I'll probably see you, maybe opening up, or maybe Fred again will be opening up
Oh
for
yeah.
you.
Oh man, that would be wild. Maybe one day that would be so cool. Yeah, like yeah, that's like the dream, man. Like it's just being able to, be able to perform in like front of thousands. I mean,
Yeah.
I just get a rush from even if it's like 10 people out
Yes.
there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's like being able to see people enjoy themselves with the music I play. It gives me such a rush, and I can only imagine what it feels like with like 100 people or
Oh,
1,000 people. Like maybe one day we'll see though. So yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Well, I think what's cool too is, especially in regards to that boiler room style
Hmm.
that's out there. I've watched some of those Fred again videos
Yeah.
out, and I think it's so cool. And you were able to do this through the videos that I saw,
Hmm.
but cultivate an environment that people were able to participate in,
Yes.
not just spectate.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And that's a huge difference.
Hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I think that also too, like that's kind of, I guess, the way I'm kind of doing my social media too, as far as like the DJ, because like I want people to be a part of the journey. So it's like whenever I, gain new followers, fans, or whatever, I think of them as like, them coming along my journey. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if I could bring all these people to my show every time, I would. So I feel like if I get that accomplishment, like where I'm able to like perform at a festival, we all win. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yes.
it's kind of like a community thing. So but yeah, like it's just amazing. So like being able to bring people along with the journey is awesome. And rather than just having them as like a spectator or
Right.
calling them just like a fan or something like that. Like, no, you're part of the journey. You're with me on this. That's how I look
Yes.
at it.
Now, you've spoken about the support that you receive from your wife and your friends and those that are also within the DJing community,
Mm-hmm.
specifically, more so, as I speak to that side.
Mm-hmm.
But going over to the cinematography side, how were you able to learn every bit of what you did to have the skills that you do?
Oh man, YouTube, YouTube University,
Yes.
man. Yeah, I that's how I pretty much learned everything.
Yeah.
I'd have to say I'm low key a nerd. So like I'm always like on the computer, just
Yeah.
like learning stuff, looking stuff up, whether it be like back then looking at like forums,
Yeah.
seeing like how people do things, just learning that way, and then being hands on with it.
Yes.
I remember the days when, cause like how I started, like mainly with the music video stuff, or even just shooting videos in general. When I was making music myself, my friend Mikey, he was shooting my videos. And then after we would shoot, I would normally just go to his house, and he would let me watch him edit. So it was like, it's fascinating to me. And when I was making music at the time, I was recording myself. I had a little recording booth, if you want to call it a booth or whatever. I had a microphone. I even had like a little audio interface and stuff like that. And, working with audio clips, I was doing that for years. And then, watching my friend Mikey edit videos, I was like, oh, it looks kind of the same, like, so he was working with Final Cut, and I had iMovie on my, MacBook, and I was sort of kind of like trying to replicate the things that he would do. And, eventually I start learning more and more. And then, I look up on YouTube like, oh, how do I do this? And then, there's a tutorial. So, I try and replicate that. So, I think that's like the main thing that kind of like helped me learn all the skills in, cinematography and stuff like that. So, the internet, it's crazy. Google and YouTube, man, it's very powerful.
You're so right. Now, do you primarily still use those Adobe Suite programs?
I do. I do a little bit with like Adobe Premiere. I use Lightroom for like editing photos. I don't really shoot photos too much, but I'll mess with that. I do mainly just use Final Cut for video editing.
Yeah.
I've tried to mess with After Effects a little bit. It's way too confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those I guess are like my main programs I would use. I've been trying to learn too with DaVinci Resolve. I don't know if you heard of that.
So that's what I use.
Oh, that's what you use.
That's what I use. And I'll be honest with you, it was one of the best things that I could have ever started on because it has given me everything that truly I would ever need, just even in the free version.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like the free version, like that's the main thing is why it's so good. It's free.
Yes,
so it's like,
and you can pay, I think, like the $2.99 that it is for the studio version to get everything, but I don't need that.
Yeah, you
and 99% of the people don't, unless you're trying to literally put together a movie that's going to be seen in theaters. You really don't even need the studio version.
Yeah, exactly. And what I've actually learned too, with messing with Resolve, it's very similar to Final Cut. So like some of the shortcuts are the same. So the learning curve on that is a lot easier.
Yeah.
I was trying to learn Premiere because like so many people use Premiere, but it looks way too confusing for me. But yeah, Resolve is kind of like Final Cut in a way, so it's kind of a lot easier for me to like pick up on that.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I had absolutely zero video or audio editing experience whatsoever. It wasn't until I started recording on these mics with these iPhones that I was then uploading directly into Resolve. And I was just kind of like, same as you. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to ask. The hardest part about it and what had the biggest learning curve was understanding or trying to figure out what needed to be asked to help you accomplish what it was that you were trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I go, well, I'm trying to do this, but I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
So how do I say, how do I do this? It's like, well, how do I do what? So it kind of started from like super basic and then it made its way up. You know, it was like, how do I, choose from one screen to another? And then that's where you eventually made your way up to how do you create a multi-cam angle, or how do you create a multi-cam clip?
Oh,
and it's like, that's what I needed.
Yeah,
I didn't need to necessarily switch through the two. I needed to get to the point where I had the opportunity to put all the clips together and then select from the two. But if you don't know what it is that you're looking for, it's even harder to ask the internet how to do it.
Right. Yeah. No, that's like one thing you have to kind of like learn the terms and stuff.
Yes,
for sure. I remember for years, like I didn't even know what B-roll was. So like people would tell me like, oh, let's shoot some B-roll. And I just kind of like play it off like, oh, okay, let's do that. And then I finally figured out what B-roll was. Sometimes you guys fake it till you make it, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's like everything is just a like learning process. That's how I look at it. You know, sometimes you got to fail. Sometimes you got to, learn the hard way at
Yeah.
times, but
And
yeah,
sometimes you just need to ask for help.
yeah, for sure.
You know, I asked my brother, and then I asked my one buddy who also has a podcast for help all the time. I'm like, hey, how did you do this? Or did you experience this problem?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll just let me know, yes, no, and then you move on from there.
Yep.
But what you have is the opportunity to use someone else as a stepping stone and a kickstart position to propel you somewhere much further than you would be if you were just trying to figure it out on your own.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that, I mean, even that goes back to the fact of like learning from my buddy Mikey on like watching him edit, because
Yeah.
like that was a major help. Just seeing him how to just watching him how he like organizes all the clips and kind of puts everything together. That definitely was helpful, because I probably wouldn't know where to start if I didn't have him. You know what I mean? I mean, I'll probably eventually figure it out, but that was definitely a big stepping stone to like kickstart it. For sure, so.
Yeah. There's this Facebook group that's called the podcast. I think it's actually titled like podcast emotional support group. I don't know, but it's funny because a lot of people will just basically ask for words of advice. Like,
Oh, okay.
I'm looking to start a podcast. What do you think about this? Or I'm looking to increase my editing capabilities. What programs are you using and stuff like that? And it's so interesting because I don't think anyone is on, like, it's not strictly an audio podcast. It's not strictly a video podcast like group, but it's so interesting because I'm like, none of these people are using the stuff that I'm using. So part of me thinks, good on me for, like, is it good on me for curating this on my own? Or do I maybe have a more difficult setup than what needs to be? Or is my editing more difficult than it needs to be? And quite frankly, I don't think so. Like,
Yeah.
I've ran this by my brother who edits and produces like a podcast and everything.
Oh, nice.
But I think what's important to acknowledge in regards to what I just said was the fact that, like, be open to hearing other ways of doing things.
Yes. Yeah,
Because
for sure.
that's going to allow you to grow as a person and utilize different sets of skills that other people have that then you can implement into yourself to become that much stronger or that much more efficient in what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And like that would also just help too, being able to like work with other people, you know, because everybody has a different process and stuff. So being able to be well versed and, you know, understand how other people do things, I think it'll just kind of help you along the road for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you this because it's one of my favorite questions to ask. But what makes scenes smile?
Oh man. What makes me smile? I'd have to say seeing people around me do amazing things. You know, my wife, like I said, she's been killing it with photography. She's the one who kind of helped me, you know, be in this freelance world, being able to, you know, start my own business and stuff. And not only her, you know, my group of best friends, they're all business owners and they're all entrepreneurs and stuff, and I just like seeing people do better than me because it like kickstarts me. It makes me be a better person is like really what I'm trying to say. Cause yeah, like, you know, having my close friends all being entrepreneurs and like them doing their thing, it's kind of just opened my eyes and being like, yeah, like, you know what, I can do this. You know, it might be hard at times, but that's life. You know, like you just gotta keep going and kind of trust yourself and, you know, make sure that you're around good people and everything will come together. That's how I see it.
It sounds exactly like you are motivated by seeing success.
Yes.
And with you surrounding yourself around successful people is what's going to allow you to continue to grow and, more importantly, stay motivated.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's kind of like how I've been that's how I've been kind of like been able to keep going with everything, is just, you know, having that support group and like, you know, the people around me just doing amazing things. So yeah, it makes me proud to see that for sure.
Absolutely. Where can they follow you?
So they can follow me Instagram, Cinematix, so SCENEAMATIX. And then my other Instagram is Scene the DJ, SCENE the and the DJ. So you can follow me on that. Seeing the DJ too on Twitter. I don't really use that too much, but yeah, those are really the two there. So.
Awesome, man. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to understand more of what you do, who you are, and why you do it. Thank you for being open, for being vulnerable, and sharing your story here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was fun for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.